So one of the things that needs to be done here is, of course, to cut back the mint, because as you can see, it doesn't look nice anymore. This is all dried up, and of course the the sparrows and the birds, they really come to feed on the seeds, and which is one of the reasons why I just hate cutting it back. On the other hand, if I don't do that, then I don't allow the new growth to come in. I'm just going to take the camera inside, and so you can see. So you see at the bottom of the plant, so we already have new growth, and so what I would do is I would take it down all the way down, all the way to the bottom, such that the new growth can come, and that's fresh, and that's like really minty green and beautiful and everything. The rest is rubbish right now. So but like I said, I have such a hard time cutting it back, because the birds just love it and they're eating the seeds, and but if I don't do that, then I'm not allowing the new growth. So I might take a compromise path. I might just cut back some of it and just leave the rest for the little birdies. So as you see, so this is all old, and it's just formed seeds, and it's beautiful, but you can't use these leaves. You see them? They are not, you can't use them. And whereas when you look in the plant, and you can see the fresh new growth coming from the bottom up. So that's what I need to do. I need to create space here. This is one corner that I'm not happy with at all, and one of the reasons is because things are just completely overgrown. Well, this one is it was a foxglove, and it's over, and I just need to take it down. And if I take it down, the same thing, I'm just going to go right to the bottom, and you can see what I mean, that there is actually new growth. Do you see that? There are new tufts of growth coming up. So I have to take this down. But the thing is, as long as there are still seeds left in these seed heads, the birds, they just come and they feed on them. And so again, the same thing as with the mint, I'm just gonna take some of it down and leave the rest for the birds. The other thing that's happening over here is that it's completely overcrowded. As you can see, I've got this beautiful shrub. Just gonna zoom in on this little bumblebee. It's so pretty. And then I have the laurel behind, and then in the middle of all of this, I just have an olive tree, and I forgot about this, but this has grown quite a bit. When I had planted it, it was really small, but now, as you can see, that this has grown very well. This is established, so I definitely need to take this away from here, from this little mad jungle, and put it somewhere where it can grow, because otherwise it won't have space, and then it's going to crowd everything else around, and then none of them can actually grow to their full potential. So I would then take the olive tree and maybe put it somewhere here between these. You see, there is a gap, and it would be nice to have a tree that's going to kind of hide this ugly neighbor's building. It won't be ugly, I think, once the facade is done, but as of now it's really ugly. So but in any case, I would like to put the olive tree there, plant it there. So pick it from here and transplant it here, and then let it grow, because then I can always have I'm going to have a beautiful tree here. So that's what I'm going to do with this shrub. I don't know what happened, but part of the shrub just kind of dried up and died. So I'm trying to tell myself I'm not a bad mother. I'm not kind of convinced. I'm not really convinced about that. But anyway, so when I have to go within the plant to actually see what's going on, and I'm just going to chop the dead branches off, so the healthy ones have a chance to survive, and keep an eye on this. And just because obviously I don't want to lose this. So it's, as you can see, it's completely beautiful, and this is actually really gorgeous in flower arrangements. And I keep forgetting the names of all of these. So, well, in any case, I am going to cut this one off so the dead part can go, and that can create space again for this one to grow. I just wanted to show you the Frederick Mistral rose because it is just so beautiful and it keeps going on and on and on. So what happened was that after the first flush in summer, I chopped it back, and I'm just going to show you where I did that. So as you can see, this is where I had chopped off, and I'm kind of hoping, and not just hoping, but I can see that there is new growth that's going to come from there. But all this is all new growth. This is all new this year's growth, and it's beautiful. And we've got a bud on the top, and there is fresh growth coming from the sides, and this just keeps growing and growing and blooming and blossoming, and it's just beautiful. And this one, this is one that you can probably see very well. So I had cut or pruned it there, right there, and then we have 2 shoots growing up from that. This is all new growth, as you can see, and this has beautiful bud here, and this one is also going to carry a bud. So that's all fresh growth, and that's lovely. And now on this side, this is already blooming, and it just smells terrific. It's beautiful. Under the summer sun, it gives off the fragrance. It's just lovely. It's such a lovely rose. I love it. So this is another crazy corner of my garden. This is where I would say it's a perfect marriage of the mint and the geranium. So you have the geranium in the middle, the scented leaf geranium. I think this is the Rose of Atta, that one. And the moment you just run your fingers through it, the perfume is incredible. You see, it's got these pretty little geranium flowers. But I use this a lot in flower arrangements because it just loves it here. It is a warmth, heat-loving plant. And then you have this kind of a wreath of mint that goes all around it. But what has happened because of this is my pivoine, which is the French word for now I'm trying to think of the English word. I can't think of it. Pfingstrose in German, and pivoine in French. I'm pretty sure it's going to come to me, and I'm going to put it down below as a comment so you can read the name. These are crowded. You see that? So they can't grow. So as hard as it may seem, I need to create space. I have to do that. I just have to do that. So I have 3 of them. I have one there, one here, and another one there. And it's all overcrowded. It's completely overcrowded. And then I have, of course, over here an enormous bed of strawberries that just keep going and going. But you know what? I think that's great, because it's nice to have strawberries as a kind of a ground cover, because as you see, it's flowering again. That's a strawberry flower, and then if I kind of look inside, so that's a fruit that's going to develop. There, some animal has eaten this one, which is great. So it's better to have this than some nettles or some other thing that's no good. So I'm happy about the strawberries. I just remembered the name for pivoine in French and Pfingstrose in German. It's actually pennies in English. And this is my bed of cosmos that I had sown earlier in this year, and I planted them out, and now they're fully mature and growing, and love to be outside and be in the wind. And as you see, I've got absolutely gorgeous lush growth everywhere. I'm just going to go into the field now to show you. Cosmos is a very, very easy plant to grow from seeds. It's probably one of the first plants that I would recommend to a beginner gardener to grow, because the success rate is just so high, and you're not gonna be disappointed. And you see, and they're beautiful. They're daisy-like flowers. They look happy. And they're growing, and you can cut them and bring them into the house and make arrangements with them. Just put them in little vases or bigger vases. and just let them play, because oh, look. Did you see that? Did you see that butterfly? That moth? It's lovely. Yeah, so they are absolutely gorgeous flowers. Everybody should grow cosmos. This is why my cherry tomatoes are growing. And as you can see, I'm just going to go in with the camera so you can actually see. So I have loads and loads and loads of these red jewels, and they look so beautiful. And they are different. So this one is still not completely ripe. This one's not there as yet either. This one's not there. But over here in this cluster, that's when you can see this one's already done. So I can just pick that and pop it into my mouth. Tomatoes should always be eaten warm, or at least under the sun. Never, ever, ever take it out from the refrigerator. It just doesn't have the same taste. So there they are. They're almost like dropping off. That's one of the great things about gardening, you know, that you can just go out and pick the fruits of your labor, literally the fruits of your labor, and just eat them. And this is a taste that you're not gonna get anywhere from nothing that's bought in a store. So even if you have the smallest pot or the smallest thing, the smallest balcony, you should take a pot, put a couple of tomato plants and grow your own tomatoes. You're gonna love them. You see the figs on the fig tree. They are now ripe. So tonight or tomorrow morning I'm going to go in and collect them. I have already collected some and used them to make tomato chutney. With tomatoes, of course. Otherwise it would not be called tomato chutney. So I also trimmed the lavender. And that's what you should do once the flowering is over, so that it retains the shape. It's not perfectly trimmed, as I can already see, so I need to go back in and trim a little bit more. But you always have to make sure that it doesn't get to the woody bits, which just means that when you trim it, you can trim it quite hard, but it should not get to this dried up part, because if that happens, if you cut it till here, if you trim it till there, if you prune it till there, then that's not going to grow back. So it needs to have some of this fresh green, or in this case bluish, growth on the top for it to flourish and blossom next year. So that's one of the things that I did. And on the other side also the toitrium as well, I have cut it down. And these are the things you need to do after the flowering is over, such that they have a chance now to grow back, and then you'll have some fresh shoots for winter. I'm going to show you this very interesting beetle. Oh, now it's gone. This is the rosemary, by the way. So here we are at vlog 33, and as I have shown you around, we've gone through the garden and I've actually shown you all the things that need to be cut and pruned, and where I have to create space because the plants are overcrowded or things are not growing to their full potential, and then I need to move things around and cut things back. So there is always this this movement, you know, in the garden. Although people always think that this is such a quiet place, quietness does not mean the same as just something being stagnant. It's not the same thing. So we do need to keep moving. There is a lot of movement. We do need to work on certain things. We do need to have a certain balance being brought back. So it's always this balancing act, right? So when is it too much, when is it too little? And I'm just always, as a gardener, all that I'm trying to do is put this balance back in this space that I hold, well, that I'm a custodian of. This is how I see it. It's not really mine. I mean, of course officially it is, but I'm holding space for this area of the earth. Now I was thinking about that, and I thought that instead of saying something impromptu, which I actually always do, sorry about that, but this time I wrote down something. I wrote a poem, and I thought that I'd share that with you, which talks about this idea of space, and the space that we create, and the space that we receive, and the space that we have around us. There are also lessons that I have learned from yoga about space, because I'm a regular practitioner. And yeah, so here it goes. Giving space and receiving space, making space for the breath to traverse in and amongst. The illusion of emptiness, for nothing ever is, and yet holding that hollowness like a precious jewel. It is here that life unfolds, not in the doing or pushing or pulling, but in the being. My garden holds space for me to expand, and I sense the air between the leaves of trees as they dance in the summer wind. I hold space for my garden to arrive and depart as it chooses, and as time will, an eternal ebb and flow. My yoga mat allows me to expand my breath. I can take space where before I couldn't. The little sparrow hops from stem to stem of the uncut mint, flitting between spaces of sunlight bars. The butterfly flutters under the bright sun, sweetness oozing from every beat of the wings as it crosses spaces between worlds. I give so I can receive. I receive so I can give. For nothing is mine, as long as the universe holds space for me to dance. Thank you. Namaste.